Hello and Ashe. Today my internet is dead for some reason. It will be fixed later. So I don't know when I can upload this video, but when you'll see it, you know that my internet is back. It's a good news. So, instead of like chatting on Facebook or writing stuff in my blog, I decided to make some videos or a nice long video about wands. Now, the Western tradition is like, and especially the ones that grew out of the Golden Dawn, treat the wand as one of the weapons. If you're going to see the Golden Dawn wand, it looks like a mini spear. It looks like this mini flaming spear. And it was used in ritual magic, to command the spirits and things like that. And I think that even though it's a very popular stylized tool in neo-paganism, in a way, it's also, somewhat have lost its meaning, and I see some designs out there that are pretty much useless. And I wanted to talk about the use of the wand and show you all of my wands and how I keep them and where I keep them and things like that. Okay. So first of all, as you probably noticed, most wands are made from wood and crystal. The reason is that the wand basically, focuses your energy, but sometimes it's used as a strainer to your energy. For instance, if you use a specific crystal, okay, let's say that you're using ruby, it really makes your energy more fiery. Or if you're using aquamarine, it uses your energy, it makes your energy more watery. It translates your energy to a more specific vibe that is useful for charging items and casting spells. And many ancient traditions used wands. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Nordic people. Just go and search online for the Volva metal wand. They had a metal wand. And the thing is about wands is that it needs to be made from some material that has like grain, because the energy goes along the grain. Okay, so even if it's wood or even it's crystal, because if you polish crystal against its grain, it's going to break. So even the polished crystal ones are still useful for that. Now, in my tradition, when I take a wand, I purify it, and then I take it to the road opener, Papa Legba, and then I take it to Ogun, which is the riches of tools, because I need to define this in the astral as a tool. In the spirit world and the physical world, this needs to be a tool, and it's not a tool just because it has the shape of a tool. It needs to be ritualistically defined as a tool. And then I either dedicate it to a specific Orisha, to a specific energy, and I will show you some of my Orisha ones. But I also have history with wands. Ever since, and I have many interesting stories with wands, which I will tell you. The first one, when I was young, I was really much in love with the whole, with the story of Cinderella and the fairy godmother, that she pulled out her wand and, used the wand to transmute something or to weave illusion or to do something like that. And I specifically remembered, okay, let's make a pause and talk about my grandmothers. They knew some tricks. They didn't call themselves witches. One of my grandmother was very protective, and she used all sorts of anti-evil eye tricks. And my other grandmother was, was basically a hexer, and she had like her one thing she used to do to people she didn't like. And none of them called themselves witches, and none of them like really got initiated to any traditional magic thing. They had like something that they simply picked up. And I remember that ever since I was young and I wanted to learn magic and witchcraft, I was like searching for their hidden wands in their home, because it was impossible for me to imagine that they are casting magics and spells without using a wand. Yes, I'm weird like that. So this is me as a child. Now, when I grew up, they started, there was a mystic shop in Tiberias. Now, in Israel, during the 80s and the 90s, there was this boom of mystic shops, and it died, and you don't have those anymore so much. You have like a few, but it's not like a mainstream thing like it used to be. And one of that shop, one of the shops was very influential about, the beginning of my craft. It would bring boxes, it would bring amazing opium scented black candles that I used for all sorts of things, especially, creating an atmosphere. And also they brought like, all sorts of scented oils, not essential oils, God forbid. Those we got for ages from, we can get them in every pharmacy, but they would have like scented oils that I still have some of those half-dried bottles, and one of them I repurposed it and now containing my personal oil and all sorts of stuff. And one day they brought healing tools. Yes, you are now looking at my first wand. And this was very expensive. This was like 700 shekels, which is like, it's preposterous that I would pay this amount of money for anything today. Okay, and I still remember the display. They had like a bloodstone wand and rose quartz wand and amethyst wand that was like opaque, that I didn't like. But I took the quartz one because I knew it would be multi-purposes. And it is with silver, and it is sated with little rubies, okay? Now, a friend of the owner, brought those from Tibet, and those were healing tools. Healing light tools. This is how it was sold. So this is my first wand, which I'm keeping forever. And even though, I like working with it, and it works very much, it's like feeling very heavy in my hand. It's not my intuitive picking it up thing, and it's on my desk. It has like its own crystal cluster that it sits on, like very water clear crystal cluster that holds to it. And even when I bought it, it had this little chip here. Okay, it has a little chip here. There are many walls in it, there are many water drops in it. Okay, it's a very beautiful crystal. I really like this one. But my first one was of stone. My second one, I can't show it to you, and it's a tragic story. Okay, now this I got when I was in high school, meaning that was the 90s. When I got to the army, it was the beginning of the 2000s, was like 2002, 2003. It was 2003, the year of 2003. Well, it was this beautiful amethyst stick that felt perfectly in my hand and would do anything I asked from it. It had water bubbles. It was this South American amethyst that is like more bluish than reddish, okay? It was long, but it was the perfect size to fit in my pocket. And I would I really was the closest thing to the fairy godmother of my army base. I would carry it with me all the time. I couldn't part with it. I just couldn't leave it home because I would spend a week on base and a week on off base, okay? So, because I was a guard in the Israeli army, the IDF. And one day, after I finished my very heavy duty shift, and during my shift, like, everybody would come, everybody from other bases and other places like that, they came. So I would do tarot readings with them. And they paid me with food and with attention and with company. And it was very nice because I would take the shift between 2 to 6 a.m. So the entire Krayot came to visit me. It was like a big thing. So, after being tired from guarding and witching, I took off my shirt and I threw it on the top bank. And in my shirt was my wand, so it flew in the air for a moment, hit the bed, and crushed to 1,000 pieces. It's gone, and I never had a wand that was as good as this one. And I took the pieces, and I basically, I tried it to be a protection, because amethyst could also be protection. And this is what I have in my army base. I didn't have my my jet or my tourmalines and whatever. And so I made a circle of protection around my base with the shattered pieces of that amethyst, and I gave it, and I gave what's left of it to, people in guard duty with me. I gave it as gifts. But for me, it was like, I learned not to be so attached to my things. This was a very harsh, painful lesson. I think I mourned for that one for a month. Very sad. So, it's gone. Now, let me show you my other ones. This is my primary ritual wand. It's made from alder wood, okay? Which is a very watery wood, but my elements are both water and air. I'm not so much in fire. Fire is like my least powerful element. But I do very good in earth. So this is an older one that somebody carved and sold this on eBay. I just could not take it. It's so perfect. Look, it looks almost Lord of the Ring. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I love it. It does the work, but it's not as sharp as that long gone amethyst wand. Now I have like other ones that are like specific job ones, and let me show you their case, how I keep them, and then I'll show you the ones. So first of all, this is my small wand box. It's from Morocco. I bought this in a Moroccan store. It's made from pewter, a very light pewter, and it has like inlaid, enameled jewels. I love it. And this is what's inside. Let me pick it up and show it to you. Now, I have this lack of finding all those twin ones, okay? All those quartz crystals that are like, there are like two of them together. And those are used for fertility. Those are the mother-child things, and those are very much protection for children. I use them, as ones to cast protection over children. So I have several of those. And this is a quartz that has a tiny bit. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see the green? Yes, I think you can see the green. The green in there is like chloride, and since it has like this big window, this is a very good divination quartz crystal. So this would be something that I would keep with my tarot cards, or I can make like a sacred space for readings. This, actually I'm not using this as a one so much. This is a tangerine coated quartz, and this is a very good soul house. I keep this, in the case in which somebody is in a coma and I need to summon his spirit and transfer it to the body. So this is a transferee wand. This is a nice clear calcite witch finger. All those things that looks like a finger. It's a witch finger, and this is very good for healing. It's very good for healing. This one is consecrated to Yemaya and to Yemaya and Obatala. I have a few of those, but this is like the healing Yemaya and Obatala. So this is the scepter one that is also very good for healing. Okay, and it has like this little nook here that is good from dislodging difficult energy from the Ura. And I love it. Look at this, it's so huge for a scepter, and so clear for a scepter. I love it very much. Oh, this one is one of my favorites. This is like, this is a quartz, and it has tiny little bit, I don't know if you can see it, I hope you can, some Rilgar. Rilgar is basically arsenic sulfate, okay? And it's very fiery. It gives like this fire energy. This is a very banishing wand. This one is a natural calcite from honey calcite from Israel. It could be used as a tiny wand. I haven't used it yet. I haven't purposed it yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Oh, and this one is one of my very old ones too. This is red phantom quartz wand, and this is used to diagnose problems in the body. It's like finding the problem that's causing this thing. Maybe you know what? I'll put this on my computer so the problem of my internet would be found. Here, I'm placing it on my router. placed. So those are the small ones. And as you see, those are not very polished. Those are very crude. But you know, they do the work. They do the work. And they are considered to be wands. And as I said, I really like stone wands. This is something that I'm using a lot. Okay, now, this is a case that I have sewn for longer wands, for wooden wands, basically, from orange silk. I hand sewn it myself. As you see, I'm not very adept at, you know, I'm not a very good seamstress, and apparently silk should be sewn in a different way somehow. Let me show you what I have in here. It's like, takes a while to untie it. Okay, this is ebony, my ebony wand. It's very powerful. The handle is made from different wood. I don't remember which wood it's made of, but the handle was made to contain some of my blood. So it's, you know, this one is like my very own one, while I might give some people, you know, playing with my wand if they have a purpose. This one is my very own. It's very Harry Potter-esque, but I like it. It's very powerful. I usually, you know, take it out when it's needed. And people, get yourself some ebony wand. Pharaohs used ebony for their magic wands, and it's considered to be a tree that gives you unadulterated power. Okay? If you need an extra boost in your craft, get the ebony. The ebony cuts through reality like nothing else. This is an oak wand, again from the same artist that made my other wand, which is important because it's consecrated to El. El is the husband of Asherah. This is my Judge E wand. This is You Did Wrong wand. There are more, don't you worry. This is a China berry wand that I made many years ago. Many years ago. China berry is used for purification, and I use the pearl on it. It's a very delicate, thin one, but I like it. I don't use it much. This, I need to fix this. This is a wand made from antler. It's made from antler. And I like it because this is my animal wand when I need to do some animal magic, like curing an animal or, casting a spell on some animal. It's a very useful one, getting the cat not straying and stuff like that. I need to fix it because it's like, loose. I got this one in the Czech Republic in my first visit. And this is a willow wand, which is a very Hecatean thing. It's tiny. You could carry it with you. I have another wand. This is an ash wand that is very good for, other sorts of healings and protections. So those are my wooden wands. Now, those are all the wooden wands I have. Let me show you my last wand box. And I know this is getting long, but I did notice that I like to sit down and watch the longer videos of people just talking. And, so it's long, so what? You'll handle this. Don't you love this chest? Don't you love this chest? This is the top. Okay? This is the bottom. Also, it's Moroccan. It's from the same shop that I bought the other box. And I don't like the lining so much. The lining is like cheap fabric-y, but I don't care so much. So here I have more of my shaped ones. My shaped stone ones. This, and I got those cheap from India. Look, if you're people that really likes, if you people really like shaped ones, or like shaped skulls, or shaped stones, they have a season in China and in India where they shape things in specific forms. And you can get those on eBay for really cheap. Really cheap. I got, for instance, you know, so this one I think cost me less than $10, but and it's like rainbow moonstone. Now it's not like very perfect rainbow moonstone. It's like you have to look really well for the rainbow occlusions. And this is something I haven't used that, but I can use it, you know, for psychic protections. If you have like someone that is like constantly attacked by demons and stuff like that, you can make a wonderful astral bubble with this. It's wonderful. Keep that in mind. Quartz wands. I have like general quartz wands, especially when walking in a group. This one is a pencil one. I like it. Okay, this is my other Yemaya Obatala wand. This is a creation wand. It has very heavy energy. I don't just use it, but this is like one of my emergency ones. And as you notice, it's small. I can carry it with me. This is a jet wand. This is good for general protection when I'm protecting a house or an area or a person. As you noticed, I have one for children and one for adults. This is my adult one, my adult protection wand. Okay, this one is one of my favorites. This is a yellow opal wand. And yellow opal is consecrated to Oshun. Since Oshun is my mother, I use this to enhance my physical power and enhance my magical power, and I channel through it very well. Even though, again, that amethyst wand, there is no replacing it, sadly. This is a scolosite wand. Now, I hope you can see the very fine line and the patterns in it. Okay, scolosite is not a very used stone, but it's one of my absolutely favorite stones. And I have many scolosite sprays in my crystal ball. I have like this crystal garden ball. You probably saw it when I did my room tour back then. And scolosite is a very communal stone. It's about building a community. As you see, all those little fibers are coming together to create a very stronghold. It has like the Fashi lesson of, you know, one stick could break very easily, but a lot of sticks together can make something that is almost unbreakable. It's also very good, you know, I don't do this much, but this is something, you know, this is my trauma one. When I need to help someone heal from some trauma, or when to heal someone from, you know, from cancer or wounds, this is like my wound wand. It's my spiritual healing wand. And also, you know, if I wanted, I could connect to previous lives, but I've been through that train. I don't need it. This is a ruby wand. It has a little bit, you see the colors in it? It's a very heavy wand. I haven't used it yet, but again, this would be like a fire wand. It has like, I don't think this is adroite. I think it's, I don't know, the name of the crystal just ran from my head. But it's mostly ruby. And like most ruby, it's like a very fiery, very strong one when somebody needs energy and is too tired. I pulled this, but I haven't used that much. Okay, this is a small agate wand. It's a picture agate. It's almost translucent. And you know, all those people that are like the sign of Gemini, like mine, they find it very useful. Okay, those are my amethysts. This is a small amethyst wand. It's a very Hecatean thing. I haven't used it yet. I used this one though. This one is from the same place where I got my amazing other amethyst wand. And while it's very powerful, even though it's chipped, it's very powerful. It's not like that other one that I lost and will never come back. Yet another quartz one. This is more tabular. This is more tabular, and again, you know, when it has like a large facet, it's good for divination, but I haven't used this yet. And this is, I bought those two together. They're like also almost the same size, you see? the same size and probably the same cover. And the size is like, you know, it's the piece of the material that I have. This is the lapis lazuli wand. This is like my Isis wand, you know. When I need the blue fairy Isis in my walking, this is what I pull out. And this, you know, is like, I haven't used this one so much. I don't feel connected to it, but this like cost me like $14 from China. It's not smelted, it's like clear quartz, but I haven't felt so comfortable walking with it for some weird reason. So those are all my wands. Do you have questions, comments? Do you have like purposes of specific ones that are not clear? Do you have like, you know, do you want to ask me which one would I make to which Orisha? For instance, if you are Orisha Shango-esque or something like that, or do you, if you want to ask me like which crystal wand would be good to which purpose, if you have like, you know, certain purpose that I haven't mentioned here, okay? Please ask, leave your comments. I would like to hear from you. Every comment that I get, I love very much. Please, you know, if you're watching this, and of course, I would love it if you subscribe, if you like what I have to say, and, you know, if you think that I'm an effective witch that, you know, that you can listen to, because I do understand that my voice could be grating sometimes. And have a lovely day.